question number 7 of the worksheet. In the diagram A is a point on the circumference of a circle with center O and radius R. Where's my video? Just a second. So here it is. Okay. With center O and radius R, a circular arc with center A meets the circumference at B and C. The angle OAB is theta radians. The shaded region is bounded by the circumference of the circle and the arc with center A joining B and C. The area of the shaded region is half the area of the circle. So you start from here, that the area of the shaded region is equals to half the area of the circle. So half of the area of the circle would be pi r square upon 2. Equals to area of the shaded region. Now, how do we find the area of the shaded region? We will use this sector plus we'll add these two lengths, these two segment areas to it, this one and this one. So they're identical. So we'll use one, we'll find one of them and double it. So let's start with the red part, area of the sector. So this would be 2 theta. So area of sector in radians is half r square theta. So I'm writing half. R here is AB. So AB whole square. Theta is 2 theta. That is the area of the red part. Let's stop here and find the value of AB. So to find AB, I'm going to use this triangle. And I'm drawing that triangle here. We have R. We have R. So that would be an isosceles triangle, 2 theta, sorry, theta, theta, and this would be pi minus 2 theta. So then AB would be, AB is AB upon sine pi minus 2 theta equals R over sine theta. What is sine pi minus 2 theta? You know this, you know this formula from O levels, that sine theta is equals to sine 180 minus theta. So sine pi minus 2 theta is just sine 2 theta. AB, and we have R by sine theta. So AB will be R times, I'm expanding sine 2 theta. Expanding is the wrong word. I'm using the double angle identity. 2 sine theta cos theta. And in the denominator, we have sine theta. So that means AB equals 2R cos theta. Okay. So I'm going to rewrite this equals half. AB is 2R cos theta whole square 2 theta. All right. Now we have to add these two regions to the area of the sector so that we get the complete area of the shaded region. So I'm writing plus 2 times area of one of those purple segments. Okay, so 2 times, how do we find area of a segment? Area of sector minus area of triangle. So you find area of this sector, and from that you'll subtract area of the triangle. I'm going to draw that sector here again. So this side is r, this side is r. The angle here is the same angle as this one, pi minus 2 theta. And then pi minus 2 theta. And then this is the triangle, and we need this length. And we're doubling it, hence the 2 outside of the bracket. So area of the sector would be half r squared theta. So half times r is r, and theta is pi minus 2 theta. Minus area of triangle would be half times a times b times sine c from O levels. So half times r square times sine, again pi minus 2 theta. Okay, now let's simplify all of this. This would be plus, we're going to cancel the 2. So it's going to be r square pi minus 2 theta. Working पे please nazar rakhna. 2 and half again gets cancelled, and we have minus r square. And again, sine pi minus 2 theta is same as sine 2 theta. So I'm writing sine 2 theta here. Okay. And at the left hand side, we have pi r square upon 2. Notice we have r square in each of the expression at the right hand side. There's an r square here. There's an r square here. There's an r square here. We can take that common and cancel it with this r square. And I'm sending 2 to the other side. So we have pi left here equals 2 and 2 gets cancelled. And 2 square is 4. And then 4 times 2 is 8. यहाँ पे 8 आ गया. And r square got cancelled, and we have cos square theta, and then we have another theta with it. So मैं 8 के साथ theta लिख देती हूँ. It's going to be 8 theta cos square theta. Let me double check. 2 square will be 4, and 4 times 2 will be 8. और जो denominator में 2 है, वो जो purple 2 दूसरी side पे जाएगा, उसको cancel कर लेगा. So yes, it's going to be 8 theta cos square theta plus r square is gone. So we have pi minus 2 theta and then minus sine 2 theta. Okay. And नहीं, इसके साथ 2 मल्टीप्लाई होना है और दूसरे के साथ भी 2 मल्टीप्लाई होना है, क्योंकि दूसरी साइड से 2 इधर आ रहा है. सो प्लस 2 pi minus 4 theta minus 2 sine 2 theta. Okay. Now I'm going to send sine 2 theta.
कोई cos square theta नहीं आएगा? मैम 4 cos square theta नहीं आएगा इसका? ये जो लेफ्ट में है.
नहीं, इस 2 के ऊपर होल स्क्वायर है ना, वो किया है.
मैम 4 times 2 8 फिर डिवाइड बाय 2
और ये
4
2
हो
भी
जाएगा.
उधर गया है, ये 2 भी उधर जाके सबसे मल्टीप्लाई हो. ठीक है,
ठीक है मैम.
8 हो गया. Okay. Now I'm sending 2 sine 2 theta to the other side and 2 pi to the other side as well. So we get 2 sine 2 theta minus pi, and at the right hand side we can take 4 theta common. So we have 2 cos square theta minus 1, and from double angle identity, 2 cos square theta minus 1 is cos 2 theta. So this becomes cos 2 theta, and 4 pi goes to the 4 theta goes to the denominator, and we have 2 sine 2 theta minus pi. I think this is what we had to show. हम इसके ठीक ठाक मार्क्स होंगे इस पार्ट के. Okay. Yes, this is what we had to show. Cos 2 theta equals 2 sine 2 theta minus pi over 4 theta. Okay. Part 2. start with saving 1 in the answer key. So press 1 equals to in the calculator, making sure that the calculator is set at radians. और then आपका डिग्रीज में तो नहीं सेट हुआ हुआ था?
जी मैम, डिग्रीज में था।
हाँ, क्योंकि पाए है ना क्वेश्चन में, और ट्रिग्नोमेट्री में वैसे ही हमेशा रेडियन में होता है, और हर क्वेश्चन में रेडियन में होता है अनलेस क्वेश्चन में डिग्री मेंशन हो. स्टे इन रेडियंस अनलेस डिग्री इज मेंशन इन द क्वेश्चन. सो अब कर लोगी अदन, या एक दफा करा?
मैम मैं कर लूंगी।
Okay. Anybody else who struggled with question 7 part 2? If not, then we move on. I think 11 was the last question we did yesterday, so we start from 12 today. The diagram shows the curve y equals x power 4 plus 2x cubed plus 2x square minus 4x minus 16, which crosses the x-axis at the points alpha comma 0 and b comma z, beta comma 0, where a is less than b. It is given that a is an integer. Find the value of a. Yes, how do we do this? How do we find the value of a given that a is an integer? Can a be 0? It can't be 0. We can see from the graph, it definitely can't be 0. It's some negative integer. So what's the first negative integer we should try? -1. So check if y becomes 0 when x is -1. Then you try -2. Then you try -3. When you get 0 is equals to 0 on both sides, that means that's your correct root. So -1 power 4, this is hit and trial, plus 2 times -1 cube, plus 2 times -1 square, minus 4 times -1 minus 16. Is this equals to 0 or is it not equals to 0? Well, what do we get? Plus 1 and then -2 and then plus 2, then plus 4, then minus 16. It gives -11. Did anybody else get -11 or should I recheck this? Okay. So the root is definitely not -1. Now we're going to check -2. -2 power 4 plus 2 times -2 whole cube plus 2 times -2 square minus 4 times -2 minus 16. So that the first one was not equals to 0. Is this equals to 0? 2 power 4 plus 2 times -8 plus 2 times 4 plus 8 minus 16. Yeah, we get 0. 0 is equals to 0. Hence, the first root is alpha equals -2. Okay. Or x is equals to -2. So alpha is equals to -2. Okay. Show that B satisfies the inequality B equals cube root of 8 minus 2x. Now, this also requires the knowledge of ACE topic, which was polynomials and factor and remainder theorem. इस साल की है हमने पिछले साल की? इस साल की है शायद. I've forgotten. Add math में तो हम first year करते हैं. Sorry, I confused it with add math. Okay, so yes, This is a merger of both the topics from P3, factors and polynomials, or of course, iterative methods. Okay, so we divide x power 4, 2x cubed plus 2x square minus 4x minus 16 with x plus 2. X plus 2 is going to be a factor. From here, you'll get x plus 2 is a factor. If x equals to minus 2 is a root, that means x plus 2 is a factor. अब हम करेंगे long division. This was q. Okay. Ascending power of x में powers आ गई, किसी के साथ 0 लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. So we start with x cubed. So we have x power 4 plus 2x cubed. Both of these get cancelled. This comes down. So we have 2x square minus 4x minus 16. Then we have plus 2x here, which would be 2x square plus 4x. Change signs. Minus plus. Both of them get cancelled. ये क्या हो रहा है? Oh, sorry, that's minus as well. So we get minus 8x minus 16. So then we multiply, we write minus 8 here. So minus 8x minus 16. Change the signs. And we get a remainder of 0, as we should, since x plus 2 was a factor of x power 4 plus 2x cubed and so on. Okay, so the equation x power 4 plus 2x cubed plus 2x squared minus 4x minus 16 can be written as product of the two factors. One is linear and the other one is cubic, equals 0. So x cubed plus 2x minus 8 equals 0. So x equals 8 minus 2x cube root. This is what we were supposed to show. Use an iteration process based on the equation in part 2 to find the value of b correct to 2 decimal places. Show the result of each iteration correct to 2 decimal places. Okay. So iterative formula is not mentioned in the question, so you must write it first. We already have an x secluded here. So we're going to write x plus x n plus 1 in the subscript. Part 3, x n plus 1 equals cube root of 8 minus 2x n. So x1, the initial value is not given to you. क्या लेना? Initial value 1 ले सकते हो, 0 भी ले सकते हो, इनफैक्ट 2 भी ले सकते हो. अगर पीछे भी वैल्यू ले लो बीटा की ओरिजिनल वैल्यू से या आगे भी ले लो, doesn't make any difference, it converges to the value. So I'm going to take 1. So x1 is equals to 1. So x2 would be, we have to show the first iteration completely, 8 minus 2 times 1. But in the calculator, we'll feed 1 to the answer key, 1 equals to, and then I'm writing cube root of 8 minus 2 times answer. So the first iteration is 1.817. You have to give result of each iteration correct to 4 decimal place. So 1.8171. The next one is going to be 1.6344. Oops. Wait, I messed up. 1 equals to, and then cube root of 8 minus 2 times answer. Okay. So the third iteration result is 1.6788, then 1.6682, then 1.6707, then 1.6701, then 1.6703. You've shown a couple of iterations. Now you're allowed to press equals to a few times and get the final converged answer. This is going to be 3. So I'm pressing equals to a couple of times. And it's stuck at 1.6702. So the final value of beta correct to 2 decimal place would be this 1. Let me check the answer. That's 1.67. All right. Next question. Okay, before we start the next question, I'd like to end this meeting and send a new link. It is given that 2 tan 2x plus 5 tan square x is equals to 0. Denoting tan x by t, form an equation in t and hence show that either t is equals to 0 or t is equals to cube root of t plus 0 0.8. Okay, let's see. So tan 2x, for tan 2x, we're going to use double angle identity, which is 2 is 2. Tan 2x is 2 tan x upon 1 minus tan square x plus 5 tan square x is equals to 0. Now we're going to replace tan x with t. So we have 4t upon 1 minus t square equals minus 5t square. Cross multiply, 4t equals minus 5t square plus 5t power 4. So we have 5t power 4 minus 5t cubed square minus 4t equals to 0. Take t common. 5t cubed minus 5t minus 4 equals to 0, which gives us t equals to 0. And for the other one, we can take 5t cubed at the left and move 5t plus 4 to the other side. Divide 5. So we get t plus 4 by 5 is, I believe, 0 0.8. And then take cube root of this. So we got the required result. It is given that there is exactly one real value of t which satisfies this equation, t equals cube root. Just a second. Okay. T equals cube root of t plus 0.8, verify by calculation that this value lies between 1.2 and 1.3. We've done such questions many times. How do you prove that a root lies between any given two values? You first have to ensure that you get equals to 0 at one side of the equation. So I'm writing t minus cube root of t plus 0.8 equals to 0. And we're going to call this ft. ft equals this. So find the value of f1.2 and then f1.3, and you will notice that there is a change of sign indicating that the graph crosses the x-axis between 1.2 and 1.3. Hence, the root lies between 1.2 and 1. So 1.2 minus cube root of 1.2 plus 0.8, that is minus 0.05 something. Okay. Then I'm going to replace 1.2 with 1.3, and hopefully we should get a positive value this time. Yes, we do. 0.19, 0.01942. So you state change of sign indicates that curve crosses x-axis between 1.2 and 1.3, hence root lies between 1.2 and 1.3. Root lies in between. That's part 2. Part 3 says use the iterative formula given to find the value of t correct to 3 decimal places, given that the result of each iteration correct to 5 decimal places. Okay. Part 3. So the first iteration, the first value is, the first value of t would be 1.2. So let's say t1 is 1.2. For t2, you have to show working. Cube root of 1.2 plus 0.8, which gives, say, 1.2 in the answer key. Then we write cube root of answer plus 0.8, which gives 1.25992. Question says 5 decimal place. So give the result of each iteration correct to 5 decimal place. Next is 1.27238. Next is 1.27494. 1.27546. 1.27557. 1.27559. 1.27560. 60. Again, 1.27560. And I guess it has converged. Yes. Okay. So the final answer has to be given correct to 3 decimal place. So T equals 1.276. Let me check the answer. Yes, it's correct. Part 4. Using the values of T found in the previous part of the equation, solve this equation for minus pi to pi. Okay. So we already, okay, one of the answer was T is equals to 0. And the other answer is this. T is equals to 1.276. Now we have to find the value of X from here. Let me make space. Okay. So we got T is equals to 0. And T equals 1.276. Okay. Replace T with tan X. Tan X equals 0 and tan X equals 1.276. Tan 0 कब होता है? Tan का ग्राफ बनाए. Goes like this. Asymptote at pi by 2. And then it goes like this. And similarly it goes like this. Asymptote at minus pi by 2. And then like this. Okay. So there's a 0 at minus pi. There's a 0 at 0. And there's a 0 at pi. So 3 of the answers for X are X equals 0, X equals minus pi, and X equals pi. Because the domain is from minus pi to. You can also use add sugar to coffee wala method. I just drew the graph. क्योंकि 0 था तो चल गया graph को use करना. Otherwise you'll use alpha method. Do you need me to do that? या आगे चले? Add sugar to coffee wala काम भी इधर हो सकता है. You'll get the same answers. You'll get alpha is equals to 0 after taking tan inverse 0. And then tan was इधर आएगा. tan is 0 को पॉजिटिव भी ले सकते हैं, नेगेटिव भी ले सकते हैं, तो फिर या यहाँ आएगा एंगल या यहाँ आएगा. Now your domain is from minus pi to pi. So एक तो आंसर यही है 0. T is equals to 0. The other one would be pi and the other one would be in the opposite direction minus pi. So that's how you're getting the 3 answers. 0, pi and minus pi. Sorry, X. Okay. Now we need to solve tan X equals 1.276. So tan alpha is equals to 1.276. Alpha is equals to tan inverse 1.276, which is 0.9060. Okay. This is in degrees. Sorry, this is in radians. Okay. So tan was positive. So that's either in the first quadrant, add, sugar, 2 coffee, or here in the third quadrant. So this is 0.9060 and this is 0.9060. Okay, so this would be one of the solutions because it's between minus pi to pi, and this would be one of the solutions. That's also between 0 and minus pi. So one of the answers for x is directly 0.906, correct to 3 decimal place, and or 3 significant figure, and the other value would be minus negative sign होगा क्योंकि clockwise direction है, and then pi minus 0.906. Basically pi minus answer, which is 2.2355. So the other answer is minus 2.236. Three significant figure में answer देना. So it's going to be minus 2.24. Question 14, last question of the worksheet.
इसके बाद कौन सा चैप्टर करना है?
Vectors मेरे ख्याल में start करते हैं.
ठीक है मैम.
Okay. A curve has parametric equation this and this. Parametric equation हमने नहीं पढ़ा अभी, तो इसको छोड़ देते हैं अभी. The point P on the curve, blah blah blah, part 1 नहीं कर रहे. ठीक है, part 2 करते हैं. Verify by calculation that P lies between 1.8 and 2.0. That is going to be, first you need to write 0 at one end. तुम लोगों ने parametric equation AS में किया? Other
इसमें तो डिफरेंशिएशन में होता था.
हाँ किया हुआ है ना, बस ठीक है. तो इतना
हम नहीं किया हुआ.
मैं इतनी कंफ्यूजन हो रही है ना मुझे. एड मैथ और तुम लोगों को इकट्ठा पढ़ा के बिल्कुल जंबल
यार A2 में होता है ये. A2 डिफरेंशिएशन.
ठीक है, एड मैथ में भी होता है. एनीवे, yes, so parametric equation अभी नहीं पढ़ा है, so not doing part 1. Part 2, for part 2, since you have to verify whether the root lies between 1.8 and 2.0, you have to move everything to the same side so that you get equals to 0 at one side. So P minus cube root of, क्यों लग रहा है मैंने तुम लोगों को पढ़ाया हुआ है, तो नहीं पढ़ाया हुआ. Anyway, equals to 0, and this will be equals to FP. So you're finding F 1.8 and F 2.0. So that's going to be 1.8 minus cube root of 2 times 1.8 plus 3, which gives a negative value, minus 0.07578. And then replace 1.8 with 2. And that gives a negative value. That gives a positive value, 0.08707. Okay, so change of sign indicates that curve crosses x-axis between 1.8 and 2.0, hence root lies in between. That was part 2. Part 3. Use an iterative formula based on the equation in part 1 to find the value of t correct to 2 decimal place. So we've done this many times already. Write the iterative formula. P is already the subject in part 1. So in part 2, you write P n plus 1 equals cube root of 2Pn plus 3. P1 could be the first value given to you, 1.8. P2 would be cube root of 2 times 1.8 plus 3. In the calculator, we're entering 1.2 equals to, then cube root of 2 times answer plus 3, which gives 1.87. 4 decimal place तक बताना है. 1.8758, then 1.8900 equals to, then 1.8927, and equals to 1.8932 equals to 1.8933, 1.8933, 1.8933. Okay, then it converges at 1.893. Dot, 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 1.8933. Okay, which has to be rounded to 2 decimal place, which would be 1.89. So that's the last question of the worksheet. I think we'll start vectors tomorrow. Kal scratch se shuru karte hain inshallah. Right, I'll see you tomorrow. Take
Okay.
care. Allah Hafiz.